The expansion of liability in foodborne illnesses. Foodborne illnesses have been around since the beginning of time. There has been an increase in accountability for food handlers due to technological advancement and government oversight. Between 1906 and present, there has been a substantial increase in liability in food service industry. More companies have been held accountable for food service violation than any other time in history. This is due to legislation, government oversight, and technological advancement. The first suggested documented case of a known foodborne illness dates back to 323 BC. According to doctors at the University of Maryland who studied historic account of Alexander the Great's symptoms and death, the ancient ruler is believed to have died from typhoid fever, which was caused by Salmonella typhi. There is no official record of how he contracted it and if there was anyone responsible. Let's take a look at where we are today and from where we are coming. But first, the question is, what is causing all this problem in the food service industry? There are many viruses and bacteria that account for foodborne illnesses and deaths. But there are 6 main pathogens that account for a majority of the outbreak. They are known in the food service community as the Big Six. The Big Six are Shigella, Salmonella typhi, non-typhoidal Salmonella, E. coli, hepatitis A, and the norovirus. Now, let's take a look at the changes that have taken place since 1906 and present. President Abraham Lincoln formed the USDA. Between 1938 and 1967, Congress passed a number of legislation targeting liability in food service industry. In 1970, the CDC began keeping records of foodborne illness. In 1973, the first major food recall in the United States occurred. This was following a nationwide illness outbreak caused by canned mushroom. More than 75 million cans of mushrooms were removed from store shelves as a result. A number of legislation followed, including the Global Food Safety Initiative and the Food Safety Modernization Act of 2011. The government leading the way and advancement in technology, the time was right for the expansion of liability in food service. How did technology play its role? Well, automated monitoring was made easy to keep food safe. For example, some hospitals uses aeroscope temperature monitoring system to monitor their refrigerators and their freezer. The sensors are placed in the units and send data to the computer with actual temperature reading, and it sends an alarm if the unit malfunctions. These data are preserved and kept for inspection. Electronic learning. Now, electronic learning has made it easy for food service companies to educate their staff. SafeServe is one of the United States' leading food service educator throughout the years. Through electronic learning, one can be trained and become certified at different levels via online learning and proctoring. Light-based decontamination. Light-based decontamination is a relatively new technology, but it's very, very effective against pathogens. It uses UVC invisible light with a microwave between 200 mN and 280 mN. UVC light damages the DNA and the RNA of microorganisms and disrupt their vital cellular function. Automated labeling. Automated labeling of food items in the kitchen is part of keeping track of food and its shelf life. Automated labeling has made it easy and convenient to keep track of food so we do not use outdated food which will get us sick. What is liability? Legal liability simply means you are responsible and is obligated to do something. In this context of food service liability, a food service business is responsible for serving safe and healthy food to their customer. A food service personnel or entity has what is known as a duty of care to ensure their food are safe for human consumption. When a duty of care is breached and someone gets sick as a result of the food, if can be proven, the company can be held liable. In closing, I'll share with you a real-life story of how a company was found liable and the serious consequences that they incur. Let's take a look.
A jury awarded them nearly $7 million because of food poisoning. As News Channel 8's Ryan Hughes shows us, despite that multi-million-dollar verdict, the lives of the Dade City couple will never be the same.
Angel and Maria Martinez regularly made the trip from Dade City to Hillsborough County to enjoy Lobster Haven Seafood Market.
They had their normal 3-pound lobsters, a dozen raw oysters, a bottle of wine.
Little did they know that this meal at their favorite restaurant would be their last. Both Angel and Maria fell violently ill. Angel's sickness got worse.
His immune system, in response to this infection he got from the seafood, was eating into his nervous system.
Days of being sick turned into months. The culprit, Guillain-Barré syndrome from the contaminated raw oysters.
There just wasn't any other potential cause of the infection that was as likely as, uncooked seafood from the oysters.
The restaurant's insurance company wanted to give them a mere $20,000 to settle. But with more than $300,000 in medical bills, the Martinezes said no way and got representation. We talked to attorney Brandon Cathy, who was part of the team that tried the case and helped secure a $6.7 million verdict.
When the jury verdict came back, both of the Martinezes had tears streaming down their face.
A person who answered the phone at the restaurant told me, quote, "It's still ongoing, so we're not allowed to talk about it." Angel Martinez still experiences pain, and even with the huge payout, their lives will never be the same.
Mr. Martinez isn't back to normal, and that means Mrs. Martinez's life is never going to be back to normal.
We're told the jury came back with a verdict in just 1 hour. Reporting in Hillsborough County, I'm Ryan Hughes, News Channel.